Every single morning, billions of people wake up and reach for the same thing, a dark, bitter liquid. One that was once banned by governments, declared the drink of the devil by the church, that sparked riots in the streets of Constantinople, that fueled the French Revolution, that built Wall Street, and that right now is sitting in your hand. You drink it every day, but you have no idea what it took to get here. Today, we are looking into the history of coffee. The year is around 850 AD. In the highland forests of Kaffa, in what is now Ethiopia, a young goat herder named Kaldi notices something strange. His goats are not sleeping. They have been eating the red berries from a tree he has never paid attention to before, and now they are leaping, dancing, full of an energy he cannot explain. Kaldi brings the berries to a local monastery. The monks, suspicious, throw them into the fire, but instead of destroying them, the fire releases something, a rich, intoxicating aroma that fills the entire room. The monks scoop the roasted beans from the embers, dissolve them in hot water, and drink. For the first time in recorded history, someone is drinking coffee, and they stay awake all night praying. The monastery declares it a gift from God. Word spreads, first to nearby villages, then south to the port of Mocha on the Arabian Peninsula. And this is where coffee stops being a local curiosity and starts becoming something that will change the entire world. By the 1400s, coffee has reached Yemen, and the Arabs immediately understand something that the Ethiopians never did. This plant is power. The Ottoman Empire begins cultivating coffee on a massive scale, and then they do something clever. They boil every single bean before exporting it, ensuring that not a single living seed leaves their borders. For nearly 300 years, the Arab world holds a complete monopoly on coffee. And in that time, something extraordinary happens. The coffeehouse is born. Called kahweh-khaneh in Arabic, these are not just places to drink, they become the internet of the ancient world, the place where merchants share trade secrets, where poets recite new work, where philosophers debate ideas that will reshape civilizations, where political revolutions are quietly planned. In fact, coffee houses become so politically dangerous that in 1511 the governor of Mecca bans them entirely. He calls them dens of sedition, places where people think too freely. He is overruled within months by the Ottoman Sultan, who, it turns out, loves coffee. But the governor was not wrong, because wherever coffee goes, revolution follows. Coffee arrives in Europe in the early 1600s, and the reaction is immediate. The Catholic Church tries to ban it, calling it the bitter invention of Satan. They petition Pope Clement VIII to outlaw it. The Pope, curious, decides to taste it first before making his decision. He loves it. He blesses it on the spot, and coffee becomes the drink of Europe. By 1652, the first coffee house opens in London. Within a decade, there are over 300 in the city. They are called penny universities, because for the price of a penny, the cost of a cup of coffee, any man, regardless of class, can sit, read, and debate with scholars and lords. Lloyd's Coffee House becomes the birthplace of Lloyd's of London, the world's greatest insurance market. The London Stock Exchange is born in Jonathan's Coffee House. The entire financial architecture of the modern world was planned over cups of coffee. But here is the part nobody talks about.
the part that makes every cup of coffee complicated. Because the demand for coffee in Europe grows so fast that the Arab monopoly is not enough. European powers need their own supply. And they find it. In the Caribbean, in Brazil, in Central America.
The Dutch steal a single coffee plant from Yemen in 1616. They grow it in their colonies. The French smuggle seedlings into Martinique. Within a century, the entire global coffee supply has moved from Arabia to the Americas, and it is built entirely on the backs of enslaved people. Millions of African men, women, and children transported across the ocean in unimaginable conditions to plant, harvest, and process the beans that fill the elegant cups of Paris and London. The same beverage, two completely different worlds. This is the history that hides inside every cup. July 12, 1789. A journalist named Camille Desmoulins leaps onto a table outside the Café de Foy in Paris. He raises his cup and delivers the speech that ignites the French Revolution. 2 days later, the Bastille falls.
This is not a coincidence. The coffee houses of Paris had been the meeting rooms of the Revolution for years, where Voltaire reportedly drank 40 cups a day, where Rousseau wrote the ideas that dismantled the monarchy, where ordinary people for the first time sat beside intellectuals and asked, "Why do kings rule us?" Coffee did not start the French Revolution, but it created the space where the revolution was imagined. And that pattern repeats across history. The American Revolution plotted in Boston coffee houses, the Enlightenment written in Viennese cafes, the labor movement organized in London coffee houses. Wherever people gathered to think clearly and speak freely, coffee was in the room. Today, over 2.5 billion cups of coffee are consumed every single day. It is the second most traded commodity on Earth after oil. It has crossed empires, survived bans, fueled revolutions, and built financial systems. It has connected the ancient highlands of Ethiopia to your kitchen counter this morning. The next time you take a sip, remember the monks who smelled it in the fire, the merchants who guarded it with their lives, the millions who suffered to grow it, and the revolutionaries who changed the world over it. That is what is in your cup. That is the history of coffee. If you found this story as extraordinary as we did, subscribe, because every week we are uncovering the hidden history of the things you use every single day. The history of the world is closer than you think.